Let's jump into chapter 10. So chapter 10, fairly straightforward at the beginning, and then starts to get more complicated towards the end of the chapter when we start to introduce some algebra and talk about the different changes that the different parts of the trade balance will have. So again, this is one of those things where it seems really easy, but if you start to tune out, by the time you tune back in, you might be very confused. So our trade balance, also known as our balance of trade, is the gap, if any, between a nation's exports minus the nation's imports. So in high-income countries like in the US, there's going to be, in the US, as well as Europe and Japan and a lot of places, goods make up less than half of the production, and then services make up that other half, just as a general rule. If we are to just look at goods, then we would call that the merchandise trade balance. The balance of trade of just goods, of goods only. You all may have heard talk in the news, or maybe other economic classes, or maybe poli-sci classes, about the current account. The current account. So what is this thing, the current account? So the current account balance is a broad measure of our balance of trade. So the current account balance is going to include those goods and services like we talked about before, but also international flows of income and foreign aid, which, I don't know if you all know this, but the United States is the largest provider of foreign aid in the world in terms of the amount of military and economic aid that we give. And that was even before the extraordinary economic aid, military aid that we're providing for Ukraine right now, right? Which is on a scale that's pretty much unprecedented. I mean, even if we compare it to Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that, the amount of money that we're giving to Ukraine right now is almost to the point of absurdity, how large it is. Those foreign aid transfers are what we call unilateral transfers. These are also called transfer payments. Although unilateral transfers is probably a better name. So these are payments that usually governments, but could be any kind of non-government organization, like a charity or something like that, right? Or could even be just individuals, Bill Gates and stuff like that, right? Individuals. So it's payments that they make in which they send money abroad and they get nothing in return. Well, let's not say nothing, but they receive no direct good or service. There's obviously a lot of political tete-a-tete, tit for tat kind of going on, right? You guys probably don't remember this because you might have been children, but during the invasion of Iraq, we increased our foreign aid to Turkey so that we could attack from the north as well as the south or whatever. And then the next year they decided that they weren't going to let us house troops there or whatever, and so we slashed our foreign aid from something we slashed it to 1% of what it was. So that's why I said it's not that they don't receive anything, they just don't receive any direct goods or services, right? This is absolutely a political tool that is used in order to advance U.S. interests. It even is explicitly stated in our doctrines about foreign aid that is the purpose of foreign aid. All right, so that's just kind of all of our definition stuff. Let's jump into the historical and international context of it.